I built this giant Lego Batman Batcave, and it's pretty good. Except for it sucks, because it has no bat computer. I mean, who builds a Batcave with no bat computer? It doesn't make any sense. Batman's the world's greatest detective. What if he is at a crime scene, collects some DNA, and needs to analyze the sample? I mean, what's he gonna, just a couple of test tubes and a piece of paper and you pour? I mean, how does it even work? You need a computer. Everyone knows this, except evidently me. But I've been working hard to redeem myself. I've built a couple of panels already for my Bat computer. I built one with Superman, Batman's greatest enemy. I built a second one with Gotham, the city that Batman works to protect. And in today's video, we're going to take a close look at the third panel I've developed, a DNA computer. So this is what the DNA panel looks like in action. It's all turned on and it's powered by a single Power Functions motor. One motor powers both the double helix as well as the scrolling numbers. As you can see, it's quite bulky. It's intended to be viewed from the front like this. The other angles are not so flattering. My plan is that this will be just one of the panels in my Bat computer. I'll have several panels and they'll all be on a Batcave wall. And I'm planning on having the wall or the panels sunken into the wall so that the panels only look like they're a couple bricks thick or one brick thick maybe. So the bulkiness hasn't really been a big concern to me, because I know I'll just bury as much as I need to back in the wall. So let's go ahead and take this thing apart a little bit, or tear it down a little, so we can take a closer look at the double helix and the scrolling numbers. So first of all, let's go ahead and turn this thing off. I have it just sitting on this kind of crappy table thing, and this just hides the bottom here so that you're not looking through the bottom. Basically, the double helix and the floating numbers I want to be surrounded by black, so that they just look like part of the screen. And so I'm not exactly sure yet how I'm going to do the cave feature or the cave wall that will go around the panels. So I didn't want to spend a lot of time covering that up, because I don't know how I'm going to have to deal with lighting when these panels are next to each other and so on. So just for proof of concept, I built this quick and dirty kind of cover that goes in the back here that kind of covers the seams between the numbers and the panel, the back panel there, and then this kind of stand, because I won't, like I said, I'll have the panel on the wall. I won't need a stand. But I needed this. I wanted it to not just be sitting on the ground in some of my early pictures and videos, and also this covers the gap that you see on the floor of this thing. So okay, so we'll put those things aside. Those aren't particularly interesting, and Batman can sit over here. Next, let's try taking out the double helix. So here's the double helix taken out, and as you can see, it's basically just kind of a ladder thing. These I basically took two tubes, flexible tubes on either side, and then connected a bunch of bars across to the two tubes with these connector clip bar attachments, and made just what looked kind of like a rope ladder or something. Looks, if you hold it like this, I guess it's kind of like a ladder. And then once I had that, I just twisted it, and I twisted it enough that I could kind of see it. I twisted it until it looked like a double helix to me, basically. And then that's actually why these gears are on here. They're not. Originally, I was thinking I would power these gears, run another gear on this, but then I decided I would use a rubber band. It'd be easier and less bulky. That's what this. You can see this rubber band here is attached to the gears up here by the motor. So this rubber band attaches to this wheel here when it's inside the computer. Let's see. I think you get the idea, but yeah, there we go. So let's see. Whoops. Let's take a better look at this over here. I'm losing some of the bars on this double helix. Okay, there we go. Like this. So, right, makes sense. So the gear I'm not using as a gear, and actually I think it could be replaced with a thin 1x3 lift arm, two of them, because they're thin. But it's basically connects the bar, or the bar connects to this little connector thing here, and then that connector is an axle. So it's basically switching from bar to an axle and then into this gear, so that the gear can kind of twist this thing. Yeah, I've totally separated this thing. I've stripped down the DNA. There's a name for this, I don't remember what, but kind of looks even more like DNA, sort of broken DNA now. But anyways, the gear just helps connect the bar to this axle, and the axle's just free spinning. When you twist this thing, it has a tendency to unwind. That's actually why all these bars have kind of pulling apart now. It's because I'm playing with it too much. And so it wants to unwind itself and push out each side, basically. Kind of unwind and flatten out. But the fact that it's inside the computer, and it's kind of pressed in by these walls, are what keeps it from unwinding. And it has the side effect of creating some tension or some resistance to being spun, because it's pressing against the walls. And so this rubber band kind of goes through a cycle of having enough tension to make it spin, to it stalling. And so it kind of creates what I think is a cool look, where it looks like basically like a frame rate, like a computer screen that's showing frames of a double helix moving. So I really like that. That was a pleasant surprise. Not something I planned to happen. So that's that, all torn apart and broken. So taking a closer look at the back of the computer. So the numbers are also pretty straightforward to build. This motor is attached to a worm gear, and then let's see if we can get a better angle on it. It's attached to a worm gear that's attached to a large gear. Can you see it? Yeah, sort of see it in there. But basically the worm gear is just to slow it down. And then once it's slowed down, it's running basically a custom tank tread inside of here. So I'm ripping off one of these panels. That's more just block the light out the back. So we'll take that off. Let's see, take another one of these off, see if we can get a better look inside here. So you can kind of see inside here. I'm not using the tank treads that Lego makes. I built my own with a bunch of 1x1 Lego Technic lift arms, or sorry, not 1x1, 1x2 lift arms, and those are or those tank treads I've been building a lot for batsuit conveyors, but I just kind of having a lot of fun with those, so I used it here too instead of using the Lego tank treads, and build them in black so that you don't see anything. You don't see them. I did them in light bluish gray first, and then you could see through these through these number panels, and so I had to switch to black, which is more expensive, but there aren't that many. So yeah, so then you see there's a custom tread, and that it's driven by a wheel in there, so it's not an actual, it's not like the Lego Technic treads. It's a wheel with rubber on it, and it's not geared, so this thing can slip, and sometimes when it gets jammed it slips, and I think that's a feature though, so it doesn't jam up and explode. It just kind of stops, which happens when one of these plates gets messed up, and it'll hit this back thing. This back part here, bunch of the newer frame. This is one of the newer frames, not the biggest they make now, but the biggest they make in black. This is just for strength, so it just kind of connects to the frame and gives it a connection that it's kind of missing, because the scrolling background doesn't give you much of an opportunity to connect the two sides, and it adds a bunch of weight. So this frame kind of gives it back some strength, and so it can basically just hold up all this weight. Okay, let's see. I've ripped this thing up pretty good. I have another video that talks about but this is the actual screen part. This is basically just you check that video out, but these are just a bunch of flags that built on a specific sized frame so that they all line up and create kind of the illusion of a screen surface. The reflections from those flags and then having it all black inside basically kind of makes it look flat, or look like you're looking at the surface of a screen. Let's see, anything else? So I think that's probably about it for this one. Like I said, this is panel number 3. I have a panel number 4 that I've already built that I will probably do a video at some point. That's a Brainiac attacking a planet, Endor, it turns out, and because that's what's available. There is not an Earth. I had Endor, so that's what I used. So that's number 4, and I think that will probably give me a chance to put all 4 of those together and make a pretty big computer. I want to make it bigger than that, but I'll start with those 4 maybe, and start trying to develop how they're going to fit into a Batcave wall, and then I'll be able to get more of an idea of how this Bat computer is going to fit into the overall Batcave. So be looking for those videos, and thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos, please subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified. See ya.